Hello and welcome back to another OMNIHEROES video. In this video we're just going to go through Dahlia. Now, Dahlia for me was a complete write-off. Honestly, she was. I didn't think very much of her. But big boys know when they're wrong and they have to admit when they're wrong and they have to say sorry, telling people that she wasn't great. I think she is. There are other people in the community that don't think she is because all she does is damage. Fine by me, you know. I very much enjoy Dahlia specifically because of the abilities that she does have and the team that she is on as well with the other units that surround her. Bear with me one sec. Let me just go and activate this. Right, okay, so first things first, Dahlia is a Dooms team. She's on the Dooms team. Typically, you do want to run 5 Dooms, and that's to get the maximum attack potential of the Dooms synergy, which is each time enemy unit takes action, they take damage equal to ally team's reflect rate times ally team's attack times 12. Each time an ally unit takes damage, there's a 50% chance to restore own HP equal to 30% of damage taken. Doesn't particularly work too well with Dahlia's kit and what you're trying to do with Dahlia. As a unit, she doesn't fit too well on a typical Dooms team. Now, GeneralFear, I don't know if you've heard of him or not, but he has a fantastic YouTube channel and is pretty much an expert on Dooms. And what I would suggest, if you go over to his channel and have a look at his new Doom setup, it's very insightful and very, very good if you want to know more about Dooms. I have a couple of videos on the channel, but nothing anywhere near as in-depth. So if you want to learn more about them, head over to his channel. I'll put a link in the description. Check out some of his videos. Now, next one, Royal Faction Synergy. So links up very well with all of the other royals in the game. That's divine and deviant units alike. And then if you have up to 5, at the start of battle all allies receive shield equal to 200% of their own attack for 2 rounds, and each stack of buff an ally unit gains increases their damage boost and damage reduction by 4% up to 20 stacks. So a very powerful effect with, bear with me, a very powerful effect with Dahlia. Sorry about that, had to cough, didn't want to do it on screen. Now, next one is Celestials. So, if you have up to 5 Celestials, I wouldn't recommend it. It's not actually a great team. You really more want 2 or 3 in the team. 2 specifically, just to get when ally units die, purifies all debuffs on allies and dispels all buffs on enemies. But at the start of battle, increases crit rate by 15% and attack by 150% for the ally team. When one ally unit dies, purifies all debuffs on all allies and dispels all buffs on all enemies. So it is the increases crit rate by 15% and attack by 150% that you want to go for. But again, it's more along the lines of really want 2 or 3 in the team at most for it to be a properly coherent team. Now, the final synergy for her is the Phantom synergy. So, Phantoms, when an ally dies, 2 other random fallen allies are revived, restoring 30% of max HP, and this effect can only be triggered 2 times per battle. Not too relevant with the teams that you want to be running Dahlia on. Specifically, Dooms, there's only... there is 2 other Phantoms, so now there is a 3 Phantom Dooms team in Sylvan. And also in Aishta as well. So you can run that setup if you have her up to 3 stars. Now I've been able to get her, 3 stars, 8 stars. I just go off these purple stars. So 1 star, 2 star. If you ever hear me say 1 or 2 star, that's why. Now Dahlia you can pick up from the Oath Recall. She is effectively crucial in the Abyss Crusade. I'll have a video coming out on that, about that tomorrow. But she is essential in getting quite a high score on this. So as you can see, the difference between my current score, 220, and somebody else down here who doesn't have a copy of Dahlia. So it'll be Tane here. I suspect he won't have a copy of Dahlia. No, he doesn't. He's done as much as he can, and he's popped Aishta in there, but it's not the same. So it's gone from 30,000 to me currently at 220. As you can see, main tank up here, it's got a very similar lineup, but has included Dahlia, and she's done massive amounts of damage, as well as the other new unit, Mulan, who Dahlia does work very well with. Now let's jump back into Dahlia and her kit, and why she is so effective, besides the fact that she started her life with 2 left feet. This foot down here was a left foot when it should not have been, so they fixed that reasonably quickly, but it was just quite funny to see. Now the Floral Requiem, Dahlia deals up to 450% magic damage to all enemies. The all enemies is important, primarily because if you pair her with the new unit Mulan, she will apply burn to everybody as well, with increased damage of 100% against male characters. That bit is just a bit sexist to me. It is what it is. She does increase damage to male characters, but this game is mainly comprised of female characters, so, you know, is what it is. It's a bit weird why they've added it, maybe just for a bit of variance in the attack. They didn't just want to give her 450% magic damage. Now the next one, Nine-Tailed Ambush. So Dahlia deals up to 120% magic damage to frontline enemies, with increased damage of 100% against male characters. Again, you know, it's really the 120% magic damage to frontline enemies that we care about. The increased damage to 100% against male characters, there's not really an all-male team. It might be more prevalent in future updates. I've seen the survey, so if you've not checked out the survey, go fill it out and you'll get the first drafts of the new heroes for next season. And it looks like we're going to get 2 male heroes and 2 female heroes as well. So just something to keep in mind. Maybe that they're releasing more male heroes, and that will become much more prevalent later on, but it is what it is. Now, switches positions with an ally before each action. For each additional 1 buff stack, attack is increased by 30%, affecting both the swapped ally and self, with a maximum increase limit of 60%, up to 50 stacks. What this means, it's a lot of wording, but what it effectively means is for every stack of buff, or every buff stack that you have, attack, defense, damage, holy shield, normal shielding, for every 1 buff stack, your attack is increased up to 30%. So what that means is, if you have 50 buffs on a unit, she'll switch and she'll give 3000% attack. Let that number settle in for a second. If she switches and a unit has a unit has 50 stacks, they will get up to 3000% increase in attack. It's a high number, and is going to scale with the rest of the game. What I mean by that is, Audrey, for example. Let's just go ahead and check out Audrey. Audrey has a passive. Audrey converts 5% of the healing received into attack. This conversion cannot exceed 100 million. 100 million sounds like a very high number, except that in about a year's time, it will not be, because of power creep. I promise, this 100 million will seem super weak in about a year's time. Now we go over to Dahlia. We just have a look at her abilities here. This is percentage. Attack is increased by 30%. If a unit comes out that has 200 million attack power, Dahlia will give 30% of that. It's not a set number. And I have always said percentages will outweigh or will outlive solid stat numbers, because no matter how much you set a solid stat number, you're eventually going to surpass that number, and it may stay relevant for 6 months, it may stay relevant for 12 months, but sooner or later it does get surpassed. Percentages do not. Percentages scale with the meta. So Dahlia, I suspect, will be a very good investment because she does give percentages, and she gives 3,000% just for having her at 6 stars. Just something to keep in mind. Having her at 6 stars will give you this. So it's just one copy. You will get one copy for free if you do all of the summons. So if you go to your Hall of Heroes, as you can see, if you do 300 Hall of Heroes summons, you will get 5 shards of Dahlia. If you do the Abyss Crusade limited time event, you will get 5 shards of Dahlia. This Abyss Crusade happens 4 times throughout the course of the season, so you will get a minimum of 20 shards for Dahlia there. So all you need to do is do this 6 times. So you need to summon, over the course of a season, you summon 6 times for her, and you will get a copy of Dahlia at the end of the season. It is something to keep in mind, which is why I haven't gone any further for getting her to 8 stars potentially, or 3 stars, is because I'm going to get a free copy of her anyway. It's just how things are. I will get a free copy of her, and then you will also have, I believe you get 30 leftover shards. So when she does come to the Oracle shop, so if we go to Oracle Temple here, as you can see, Ophelia is available. Monthly limit is 10. I have bought 4 of those, and the reason for that is because I had 30 shards left over from the first season for Ophelia, and then I was able to get her up to, where's she gone? I was able to get her up to 7 stars for this season. So it's just something to keep in mind. Dahlia will become available eventually through the shop, so it's nothing to worry about. But getting her, if you want to get a copy of her this season, you do need to do your 300 summons, and if my advice on that is to get to up to 300 and then stop. Even if you've got 450, even if you've got 600, you don't get shards of the new unit the further beyond that you go, except if you've got 1500 and you're a madman like Chrono Mirage. So just, you know, is what it is. Now the final ability, which you unlock at 7 stars, and this is quite crucial. Whenever swapping positions with Dahlia, the ally has a 100% chance to copy her buffs. So what that means is, if you've got a back row full of units which are mega buffed, like for example Halissa, or Atrops, and she switches with them consistently, she will copy all of the buffs, or they will copy all of her buffs, giving them access to more attack, giving them access to more power, so on and so forth. So I'm going to pause it here. We'll jump into some gameplay for her now that I've had a rant. Bear with me. Just going to jump into Lost City. Right, so we're here, and what I did initially was I had a hankering suspicion that these two were going to be very important to Dahlia, and it's because Halissa provides so many buffs. So the first team that I tried looked a little something like this. I think I had either Catherine or Atrops. Sorry, actually no, I didn't have any of those in. What else did I have in there? Ah, yes, Ophelia. Funny enough, we were just talking about her. So the reason I have Ophelia in there is because now I have her up to 7 stars. She has this final passive. When she's on the battlefield, allies have a 25% chance to gain Sanctuary upon reflect damage, and is invincible when taking damage, immunity of 1 instance of damage and 1 debuff. Effectively, if you gain Sanctuary from the reflect damage, which will be after the damage is done, you will become invincible following on from that for your next attack. What can happen is Dahlia can swap with Atrops, or Dahlia can swap with Halissa, who has the and if Dahlia has the buff, the invincible buff, she will then put it on another unit because of the copy effect. So you can copy the effects of Holy Shield, you can copy the effects of normal shielding, you can copy the effects of attack stacking, damage stacking, defense stacking, you know, the list goes on. But you copy those effects, including Sanctuary, which is applied and stays on, so you can go ahead and switch round, and then she will copy that buff onto the other unit, effectively making your team kind of invincible. So what I did was I had Spear out, which gives a 10% attack buff. I then popped in Crown as well, so Crown gives 10% attack buff, and I also put in Knight's Edge because Knight's Edge gives 10% attack buff, so it'll be 30% from my relics plus an additional. So these three will trigger twice. So you'll see, you'll see spear go off, then Crown, then Knight's Edge, then Spear, then Crown. So it'll give us a total of 50% attack buff, which is what we want to see. So we'll jump in. Sorry it's taken so long to get to the gameplay, but there'll be plenty more gameplay of her in the future as well. Just advising on how the team that I had originally was set up. And it's something to behold. I'll tell you that much now. I didn't expect Dahlia to produce this much, and I'll show you in a second as to why. Now I tried. So as you can see, she's swapped with Atrops, so she's effectively copied all of the buffs that Atrops has given. Now, something to keep in mind as well, Atrops will perform her ultimate, and then hopefully Dahlia will switch with her. If not, then Dahlia will switch with somebody else in the back row. But the point is, she will copy the attack buff that Atrops gives here, which is why we're able to get up to such high damage numbers. Now, as you can see, 3,245 million is not bad, but when you put 8,724 million in context, it's really important. It is super important. So that was just one shot at the entire enemy team, and it's consistent as well. It is really consistent. So let's just go ahead and have a look. Yeah, 2,228 million damage just from her alone. I'm gonna show you something now. One sec. So I've just set up. This is a pretty standard team that I would run normally, and I just want to compare the two. So if I wanted to beat something, this is probably the current team that I would run, and the reason for that is because Astrid will allow Atrops to double trigger. And what I mean by that is she'll double ult because of Astrid's ability, increasing attack by 140%, something like that. It's a reasonable amount of damage. So I just want to see how much, in comparison, how much damage we're actually doing with this team setup. Now this is a very whale heavy team. It really is a very, very whale heavy team. And the reason for that is because Eudora, of course, is only available in one place, and that's through the Oath summons, unless you're exceptionally lucky and, pull her in the Oracle shop or the Oracle Temple. She's not available anywhere else. You do get her for logging in, but in order to get her up to 8 stars, you probably have to summon on the Oath Recall. Now, as you can see, Atrops doing double damage. Catherine increasing attack damage up. Now, 2,000 million. This is quite high, it's quite a high number. Eudora here doing effectively 4,000 million. One shot in the enemy team. This is what you would expect from this team. Catherine here doing 1,226 million, sure. Is what it is. And then Astrid here to finish things out. So, Eudora, of course, doing the most damage. Let's go ahead and check. So she's doing 27,383 million. Let's try this again. I'm just going to take Eudora out. Now this, like I said, this is Eudora. Now the runes, please ignore the dogshit runes that I've got. Yes, they are all they are all almost the defense. not defense, dodge runes, sorry. Except for a random reflect rune. Please don't judge me. If I go into Purify, I just don't have enough of these. Yeah, I physically cannot obtain these at the moment. I think I'm one level off doing both. Anyway, so Eudora, she can potentially be a bit higher. But the fact is she's got full red runes and she's 8 stars. That should be more than enough to get through, as you can see. Absolutely fine. Now, what happens if we change it up a little bit? We'll go ahead and put Dahlia in this slot here, and let's just see what the difference is. It might be exactly the same, it might be better, it might be worse. I just want to see for myself what the difference is between these units. And I think it also does depend on if Dahlia swaps with Atrops. If Dahlia swaps with Atrops, I think you're good to go. If she doesn't swap with Atrops, she swaps with somebody else, you know, it can potentially be a bit of an issue, but we'll see. So we just swap with Atrops, so Atrops has effectively had her buffs copied, the attack increase given, and also she's now moved position, so there is that as well. So as you can see, it's reasonable. You know, they're doing damage. We've not finished them off in one shot. Shields are down, but let's just go ahead and see. So we do get the double attack, and what we want to do is swap. So here, 6,000 million. 10,000 million. She has just out-damaged. And I know it seems a bit strange, but she has just out-damaged Eudora in the exact same spot, in the exact same team. 16,000 million she just got. It won't register it. You saw it on here. It won't register it. It'll just say she's done 2,823 million. Because it physically cannot do damage over health. So the damage done is equal to the health that's been lost. It's not respective of how much damage was actually done. Let's go ahead and try that again. I'm just putting it out here. She's done massive damage, and she's done effectively 3 times the damage that Eudora's done, even with Eudora double ultim. That to me is absolutely mental. It really is absolutely mental. Again, Astra down, get healed up, absolutely fine. We get our attack increase, get more of an attack increase, and again, we'll get our attack increase, get our buffs up. It's a miss, what a shame. So it's 5,000 million again, just in one shot. So Catherine to miss here, of course, but to stun, that's fine. We do get the corrode mechanic kicking in. And a miss here. 1,300 again. You really do need her to swap with Atrops, but she's still one-shotting this team, which is something that Eudora can do, and you know is supposed to do. But this is without runes. So let's go ahead and just check. Let's check Dahlia's runes out. Now, if you're still with me, thank you. I really appreciate it. I really do. So at the moment, I've got all of Audrey's unique runes on it because I don't have the correct runes. Not unique, just normal runes. You know, level 80, but normal runes. The inherently charming Dahlia has 33% chance to double the buff she receives. If you get her red runes, has 100% chance to double the buff she receives. That's going to be mental. What I need to clarify is one thing that I need to clarify is, does the stack still apply? And what I mean by that is, so if we have a look at Celine here, go into his skills. When Celine receives active healing, receives 2 stacks of damage boost, and the limit of damage boost stacks increases by 15 for all allies. So with regards to this, because there is a stack limit, does it mean that if Dahlia is doubling the amount of buffs, if she's at 20 buffs, will she then go further? That's the question that we've got to ask, is will that buff go further? Will it, instead of going, so if Sal had a maximum of 20 buffs for his attack and his damage, and you switched with him, would that also pump him up to 40? Or would it keep him at 20? Would it remain the same? It's just something that needs to be answered, and I'll find that out as quickly as I can, and I'll report back on it. But yeah, that's it for me. I just want to say thank you very much for watching. If you have watched through to the end, I really do appreciate it. If you have any questions, please leave them below. I'd just like to say thank you for watching. You have a good day.